So, your avoidant ex came back. Here's the truth. You respond by investigating, not deciding, because that message isn't the answer you've been waiting for. It's new evidence in a case you thought was closed. Treat it like the verdict, and you trade months of hard-won ground for one sentence that cost them almost nothing to send. The message proves something. It does not prove what your heart wants it to prove. Before you ignore it, answer it, or reopen the door, you need to establish what brought them back, what has actually changed, and whether the person returned, or the pattern returned wearing their face. For months, you carried one question: will they ever come back? Now they have, and instead of relief, you've got a heart rate. Before you reply, understand what their return actually proves. Stage 1. What the return proves, and what it doesn't. Inside the relationship, closeness became pressure, reassurance, plans, feelings named out loud, ordinary expectations, the things that make a relationship, activated the system telling them to create distance. They went quiet, warmth disappeared, then the breakup removed the pressure. The defensive system stood down, and feelings difficult to tolerate in proximity became easier in absence. One Thursday at 11:47 p.m., your phone lights up. I miss you. I've been thinking about you. And here's the part people miss. They mean it. This isn't automatically manipulation. That sincerity is what makes the situation dangerous, because sincerity isn't ability. They can mean every word and still fail once proximity restores the conditions that broke it. Put 4 lines in the case file. Contact isn't reconciliation. Missing you isn't readiness. Regret isn't change. Sincerity isn't ability. I still love you, explains the return. It doesn't prove the pattern changed. Their retreat never proved you were too much. Their return doesn't prove they can handle what they couldn't before. That's what you investigate. Before we open the evidence bag, if your avoidant ex came back, tell me in the comments what they said. Was it, "Hey, I miss you," an apology, or something more? If they haven't, tell me what you'd need to hear before opening that door again. Your experience might help somebody else staring at the same message wondering what it means. Stage 2. Open the evidence bag. Before you reply, look at it. Hey, a meme, a story reaction. Thinking of you at 1 a.m., watching everything you post in silence. None contains a request, acknowledgement, or intention. Watch what the anxious heart does with an empty file. They send one word, and you build the bridge into a conversation they never started. So here's the first rule. You don't owe clarity to someone who brought you ambiguity. No request, acknowledgement, or intention. Walk. Silence isn't a tactic, it's triage. Whoever reopened contact explains why. The second category is emotion without intention. I miss you. I've made a huge mistake. Feeling arrived. Intention didn't. The third is stated intention. I've been thinking about how I ended things, and I want to talk about whether there's anything to repair. Now you investigate. Stage 3. The one question. If you received emotion without intention, ask, what are you hoping for by reaching out? You can make it warm. It's good to hear from you. What are you hoping for by reaching out? But don't write it for them. Never negotiate a relationship they haven't asked for. If they can't say what they want, you don't get to want it for both. I don't know. I just miss you. Fine. That's an answer. Feeling resurfaced. Nothing else did. I shut down instead of telling you what was happening, and I want to see whether there's anything to rebuild. Different answer, different case. Don't answer emotion until you establish relational intent. I miss you. What are you asking for? I made a mistake. What do you think the mistake was? You aren't interrogating them. You're refusing to fill their blanks. Even, I don't know, is data. Stage 4. Diagnose the first relationship. Say they want reconciliation. Before anything reopens, establish whether they understand what killed it. Not whether they're sorry or discovered attachment theory. Can they explain the mechanism with their own behavior visible inside it? I realize I love you. Feeling, not insight. I got scared. Better, but incomplete. When conflict made me feel trapped, I went quiet instead of telling you what I needed. I interpreted your requests for closeness as pressure. You reached for me, I felt trapped, and I punished you with distance. Now you have something. Listen for accountability disappearing under shame. We just grew apart. We both made mistakes. You were too anxious. That's just my attachment style. Attachment style explains behavior. It doesn't repair the cost. I'm avoidant is self-awareness. Here's what I do now when I feel the urge to disappear, is change. Don't be their therapist. If you construct the diagnosis for them, you've learned nothing about their self-understanding. Even insight is testimony. Next, what exists now that didn't exist then? Stage 5. Find the changed variable. The first relationship ran on a loop. Closeness became threat. They withdrew. You pursued. They withdrew harder. Eventually it collapsed. Ask one question. What interrupts that loop now? This time will be different. Has no mechanism. I thought about you every day. Isn't evidence of change. I'm avoidant. Gives the pattern a name. Compare that with, when I feel myself shutting down, I say it instead of disappearing. I tell the other person I need space and when I'll come back. I've started doing this even when it feels horrible. Now they can identify the trigger, old response and new response. Your side of the circuit changes. Their withdrawal trained you into pursuit, explaining harder, reaching harder, maintaining the bridge whenever they stepped away. Don't rebuild that role. If nothing changed in the system, you're rebuilding the system. Same inputs, same wiring, same collapse, better vocabulary. Stage 6. The price of re-entry. The price isn't groveling or punishment, it's evidence in installments. Their trigger is proximity, so test intimacy through controlled re-entry. Increase access slowly enough that new information arrives before your emotional life depends on the outcome. A conversation, occasional contact, a meeting, dating, intimacy, then a relationship. At every stage, ask, did the new behavior survive this closeness? Missing you happens in absence. A relationship happens in proximity. Don't restore daily good morning messages because your thumbs remember. Don't hand them your emotional confession before you know why they're there. Don't sleep together and treat intensity as proof. The pull wasn't the problem, the pattern was. If a reasonable warm pace makes them leave, you got your answer in 3 weeks instead of another year. If I make it easy enough, they'll stay, was the economy of the first relationship. This time, both people pay in. Stage 7. Stress test the change. The first week back tells you little. Losing you activated them. Winning you back is a short mission. Sustaining intimacy isn't. The real test starts once they know they have you. When novelty disappears, when you're disappointed, when you disagree in a kitchen instead of reminiscing in a cafe, when you need reassurance, when they need space, when dependence becomes real again. Use a reasonable, warm boundary. I want to take this slowly. I'm not ready to talk every day yet. Before we date again, we need to discuss what happened. Then watch. Can they stay warm while frustrated? Can they hear no without going cold? Can they ask for space without threatening the relationship? Can they say, I need this weekend, I'll call you Monday, and actually call Monday? Can they acknowledge a rupture instead of disappearing for 3 days and returning as if nothing happened? If your boundary produces anger, sulking, guilt-tripping, forget it then, or disappearance. The investigation succeeded. The boundary didn't ruin reconciliation, it revealed what was there. Don't weaponize the test. If your goal becomes making them panic, chase, or beg, you've created insecurity from the other side. A boundary protects you and reveals compatibility. Hold it. Judge the comeback by consistency, never first week intensity. Stage 8. The verdict, relationship 2, or case closed. Door 1. Evidence stacks up. They state their intention without you drafting it. They explain the collapse with their own actions visible. They hold accountability without deflection. They have changed behavior, not just vocabulary. Their warmth survives frustration and ordinary weeks. Build it slowly. Discuss conflict, space, communication, and repair. Demand different behavior where the relationship used to break. You aren't restoring relationship 1. You're building relationship 2 with somebody who understands why the first failed and behaves differently when the trigger returns. Door 2. The evidence fails. They can't say what they want. They came back for comfort, familiarity, sex, reassurance, or relief. Nothing behavioral changed. Your first reasonable boundary produces the same withdrawal you know by heart. Then closure becomes strategy. Once you have enough evidence, stop investigating. The anxious heart can interview forever. Do you understand what you did? Did you ever really love me? Why wasn't I enough? Will you change one day? At some point, those questions stop gathering information and maintain attachment. The case has enough evidence. You don't want to file it. So file it. Verdict, boundary, disengagement. I care about you. I've looked at this honestly, and restarting the relationship wouldn't be good for me. I'm going to keep moving forward, and I don't want us to stay in contact. Stop. No 90-minute post-mortem. No final attempt to be understood. No waiting for a confession that gives you permission to move on. Closure isn't something they hand you. It's the point where the evidence is sufficient, and you stop reopening the case. Before you leave the desk, notice what carried you through this. Your loyalty let you take the bond seriously without surrendering to it. Your depth asked what mattered. Your patience gave behavior time to reveal itself. Your warmth held boundaries without cruelty. The qualities the relationship taught you to put on trial were the ones that let you investigate it properly. Here's what was true: the bond, their feelings, the memories. You don't need to call it fake to move forward. What wasn't enough, any of it. Real feelings don't create relational ability. Feelings in absence do not prove behavior in proximity. Sincerity without changed behavior is the old relationship reopening with the same ending. Stop treating their return as the verdict, writing meaning into empty contact, answering emotion before intention, and building the bridge before they say where they want to go. Relationship 1 was decided by feelings. The second, if there is one, gets decided by evidence. Don't ask whether your avoidant ex came back. Ask whether the person came back or the pattern came back wearing their coat. When that message arrives, or if it already has, don't answer with your heart's opening statement. Ask the question, what are you hoping for by reaching out? Then let their behavior write the rest of the file. I have been the relationship detective, and thank you for watching. If this helped you see things more clearly, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I wish everyone watching all the best, and I hope to see you again in the next one.